are going to do something unconventional today and just help each other get our individual podcast started by doing it together. I am Kristine Casart, and I am here with Lynn Large, and we're just so happy you're here.
So lovely to see you, Kristine, and do this with you and having so much fun already. I'm Lynn Large. I am 57 years old. I just had a birthday. I had two birthdays. I had a sobriety birthday of 27 years and a belly button birthday, which is what you call it, the real world, of 57 years. And I am mother, single mom of two adult daughters. I'm in a new chapter of life, and I recently closed my 12-year-old baby business. That was my life and my identity and my everything for the last 12 years. And it was a juice company called SaraFresh, which Kristine, you know very well and have
Yes.
supported over the years. I'm just in a new phase of life where I made a decision that this whole running around to pay bills, as I called it, I was saying, who came up with this whole running around to pay bills thing? And the message that came in was, you did. So if you don't like it, change it. I just made a decision that I wanted something different and something more, and that my decisions today are more weighted than they were the day before. I want to live life to the fullest in a way that I can add value to others, a way that I'm spending my days filled with the way I want to spend my time and the way I want to spend my energy. And along the way, I became nomadic almost exactly a year ago. And along the way, I am meeting women and having these conversations, much like with you, Kristine, where I'm noticing these common themes among women. And I'm going to call it during the decade of between 50 and 60. But are you 50 yet?
The other day, I'm like, I'm 38. That's pretty old. But you know what? I am 48. So
You
in
are
the blink of
48.
an eye, I missed a decade. Almost 50. I'm right
Okay,
there with
you
you.
qualify. There's this decade of these wise women who are trudging the road to happy destiny, as they say in AA. I'm in the playground of that and staying positive and creative. I have so many ideas and so many things that I want to pursue and create and collaborate with and all of that. One of them is possibly a podcast. So here I am. You and I reconnected with your recent book and me calling you to congratulate you. I have ordered my book. It's in Sarasota. I cannot wait to read it. So thank you for this time together.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for just being such an amazing person. You were one of the first people I met in the recovery community. And when I met you, I had been sober for 5 years, but I had not done any of the recovery work. In hindsight, I can feel like I had basically just been holding my breath, not drinking, but I had not done any of the work to understand why I had an addictive personality to begin with. And basically, that she was just waiting for the next opportunity to drink. And I'm just so grateful that I met you, that I know you, and that you're in my life. Yes, your restaurant, SaraFresh, was such a light in our town. I just loved coming to see you, and you're always so happy and just a big smile. Even though I could tell that maybe your day had been hard, you were just so happy to greet people and hear about them. And you're just such a lovely, genuine, kind person.
You too. Thank you for that.
Well, why don't you share a little bit of where you are right now? Because I think it's just so amazing, so unconventional.
You mean physically
Yes,
in my physical shoes or
yes.
lack thereof? I'm sitting in the back seat of a borrowed car in
Mm.
Tennessee, which is my hometown. It's where I spent ages 10 to 20. I did all of my education here. And so I'm back here seeing my mom and my college alumni gals. We reconnected. One of the things I'm noticing and experiencing is this kind of need to just really be agile. And I was driving and it clicked in my mind. I was like, okay, First of all, I needed to leave the space I was in. I was just feeling like I needed people, I needed connection because I'm staying on a farm, like way out in the middle of nowhere. And I knew that the next right thing was just to take a shower and get dressed and get on the road. And my mom wanted to have lunch. And so I had a window. And so you and I had this planned, but I had forgotten because it's just the human condition, right?
Yeah.
I saw that we had this planned and I reached out to you, and thank God for Siri and voice texting and just all the technology that are available to us today. It's really incredible. Really so grateful for that because it is a game changer that I can sit here in a parking lot in the middle of Germantown, Tennessee and blur out the background and be sitting Indian style in the back seat of a car, do a podcast.
Yes.
It's hilarious. And then I have my little matcha that's like right down here. And I know you have your smoothie, so we
Yep.
could take it and do a cheers. Cheers and have a sip. Just enjoy not being perfect and being
Yeah.
unconventional.
Yeah, I love that. And
Yeah.
I feel like I've had the calling to start a podcast for a really long time, but I had put so many barriers in the way of me creating that. Number one for me is that I'm from Sweden, so I don't feel like my English is perfect. And I don't really want to do anything unless it's perfect. But I'm working on that because I'm also a recovering perfectionist. The other part that was holding me back was the technology of starting a podcast. It felt really foreign to me. And I'm one of those people that if I don't know how to do something, I'd rather not start because, again, I want it to be perfect. And how can it be perfect if I don't know what to do? I'm so grateful we're on this journey together because we're learning together. And the universe has sent me, I think I counted this morning, 4 people in total who have been willing to teach me podcasting for free. They just want to gift me their time and their knowledge. And it's just like, I keep thinking about that story. God, I was stranded on that island and you did not come and get me. And God said, what? I sent a boat, I sent a helicopter, blah, 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 but you didn't come. So it's just so funny when I can just open my eyes and acknowledge the gift that these women have gifted me and just realizing it's not as hard as I think. I've had 2 people sit down with me and walk me through it. So my brain, I feel like the older I get, the wheels are turning, but it takes me a while to, okay, this is new. I don't really understand. Can I try it on my own a little bit? And then it's not perfect. So then I give up. So that's why I'm so happy that we have each other because it doesn't have to be perfect. But then I just learned this. And why don't we try it? And here we are. I love it. Like my heart is just so happy right now.
Yes. Mine too. Mine too. Yeah, it's really good. And I was listening to you thinking about my own limitations with the podcast. My sort of inclination to do a podcast has really come from my closest girlfriend. I listen to podcasts, not a lot of them, but some of them. And I never thought about doing one. But I have this friend. We all need friends in our lives, right? That cheer us on, that see us in a greater light than we see ourselves sometimes. And so she's just said it over the years. And then recently on my nomadic journey, I was sitting at a table of some prominent Hollywood people. And I was thinking, what am I going to talk about? She's a producer and she's an actor. And we were in this fancy schmancy Hollywood place with paparazzi outside. And it's ironically, LA is where I hit my bottom with my alcoholism. So to have a full circle moment to be back there, I've been back many times now, and it's just gifts of the program, gifts of staying sober one day at a time. But it was just like this whole sort of, oh, this is so interesting. And so there was one mutual friend. So there were 4 ladies, me and my friend, not the one who told me to do the podcast, but another friend, and her 2 invited the producer friend and the actor friend. And so the producer friend just says in my ear, now Maria tells me you're nomadic and you're traveling. And so they just leaned in and they were so intrigued and said, you should do a podcast. And so the producer and the actor started debating on what the content should be. I was just observing. They were like, no, it should be this and it should be that. And the other one's chiming in and saying, okay, I'm fully invested now. You have to keep me updated on your travels. And what you're doing and where all have you been? And it just gave me just a little nudge. And then after calling you about your book, all of these women showing up for you to offer you all of this time is just a reflection of what you have put in the world, because you are so generous and free to share with me, because I'm writing my book. And I reached out to you and you just set up a Zoom call. You couldn't wait to just share your experience, strength, and hope with me on that. And so, isn't that how we know it works? Is that we get back what we put out, and it's all, everyone's a mirror, and it's all just a reflection. And just, I know that if I can just focus on adding value in some way, it always works out. But my limiting beliefs about the podcast are, what the hell are you going to talk about? Nobody wants to hear what you have to say. You're too old. I'm definitely too old. I'm irrelevant. Just all that, just self-deprecating, limiting, comparison, comparing my insides to other, all the work it's going to be so much work. You're not going to make any, certainly you're definitely not going to make any money doing it. So don't even think about doing it, or just do it and don't think about making money, because you don't deserve to make money
Oh
doing it. So there's that one too, right? It's the reverse. So just don't even start. What the hell are you thinking?
my God, you're like my inner voice right now. I've had all those same thoughts.
And yet here we are doing a podcast.
Here we are.
So cheers to that.
Yes, more cheers. I love it. But isn't that just so lovely, that inner silence, inner loneliness, and individuality, sitting at home, hearing these like inner negative thoughts and patterns, we think that that is the truth. And it's very easy to get stuck in there, because in a way it feels safe. It's, oh, these voices, these reasonings must be trying to protect me. It's better if I stay small. But I feel like the longing for me to help other people and to, yeah, get this message of hope and resilience out there is so much stronger than these negative voices. And then just connecting with like-minded people like we're doing right now, just, oh my God, you have voices like that too? I thought it was just me. It makes it feel so much more possible.
My daughter is FaceTiming me of all things.
Oh,
Like, I'm on a Zoom call, so I can't talk, but can I call you back? I love you so much. Two sick girls. I try to always answer the phone when my daughter's calling.
oh, I love that.
Yeah. So that's my 23-year-old daughter who's living in Los Angeles, and she's sick and
Mm,
rarely FaceTimes me. So when she does, I want to pick up. So
yes.
unconventional. Thank you.
Yes. Love
Plus, it
that.
took over my whole laptop.
Oh no. Now you know what happens when somebody
Yeah.
FaceTimes
I'll have
you.
to turn that off.
You're like waving to people. Just sitting here, just totally normal. Don't mind me.
Yes, and my laptop. My laptop might die. I have 5% left.
Okay. Ah, you know what I love about this though? That it is so, I'm gonna keep saying unconventional, because I
Yes.
think that every time we do something different and it doesn't look perfect, I think
Mm,
it opens the door for so many more people.
yeah, absolutely.
People listening to this, oh my God, if they can do this, and I haven't even shared. I'm sitting here in my pajamas. I have no makeup on. I don't know what
Yes.
my hair is doing. I think I
You're like,
brushed it at some point. This is like
adorable.
what we're sharing, like drinking here is my breakfast, and I think it's past noon. Like it's just, I probably should have eaten something, but we're just like showing up anyway.
It's just life on life's terms, and it's real and authentic, and just the world is changing so much so rapidly with all this new technology and AI, and
Mm.
people not wanting to work the same kind of jobs, and wanting to be able to create a life that is authentic to them and make money in a way that where they can live a life that is respecting themselves. I'll speak for me. It's the nomadic piece for me is allowing me a break, honestly, a
Mm.
break from 12 years of just pushing a boulder up a hill and it really taking its toll on me in every possible way. Of course, there were wonderful things about it. But that was the exhausting piece, was keeping it all. The world typically just sees all of that energy outward, and the toll that it took on me physically and emotionally really robbed me in a lot of ways of doing
Mm.
anything else but that. And so you were talking about wanting to get this message out, and I just love that. For me, my greater message is just seizing life and
Mm.
being positive and creative. I learned that in my last treatment center from Tom Porter, who passed away a long time ago, but he was
Oh.
one of my mentors, and we used to sit around and laugh at our thoughts just like we're doing today. I just stopped him because it's just so funny. Yeah, my thoughts told me that I was just a loser, whatever it is, but it's just simply not true. And so he would say, stay positive and creative, stay positive and creative. And that's my sort of call. It's just this. So this is creative. This is creative and positive.
Yes.
It's positive and creative. It's fun. Why not? We're not hurting
Yes.
anybody,
Oh my goodness, I
and
love
it's
that.
free. It's freaking free. Like,
Yes.
I'm all about being resourceful, having fun, connecting with women, learning
Yeah.
new skills, adding value, like all of these things. You are
Mm.
too. So it's really
Mm.
easy.
Yep.
I'm coming back to Sarasota April 3rd. So I think it would be really fun to set a weekly meeting for us, or podcast, or do some more things.
Oh, I would
Well,
love it.
in person.
Yes. Oh my
So
goodness. Yes.
yeah. So we'll do that. That'll be
Yes.
great.
Oh my goodness. Yes, that sounds amazing.
Yes.
What we're creating here.
Positive creations.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, I love that.
Creative. Yeah. That's the answer for everything.
Mm.
Parenting,
Hmm.
relationships, sobriety, work, just relationships. I'm here with my elderly parents. It's not
Mm.
easy all the time, but just how can I stay positive and creative? Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna take that with me. I love that. I was also kind of what I heard you say, pushing a boulder up a
Mhm.
hill. That's how I felt being sober felt like before I started doing recovery. Because I had like depression at the time. I lived in Chicago. It felt like it was constant, overcast, gray, raining, cold, all triggers for me. It felt like I was pushing a giant ship up a hill while pulling my kids behind me, kicking and screaming and trying to find their freaking hats and mittens. And then somebody had to pee. You kidding me? So getting out of the house was like impossible. So why even try?
Yes. I fully embodied like everything you're describing. I'm so there with you.
Mm.
Yes. Yes.
And it felt so lonely. And it also, and that I felt like I should have been grateful because I was going through infertility treatments to
Mhm.
get these beautiful gifts. So why wasn't I happy? It was just so hard to say that out loud. And of course, I was happy. There were moments very up and down, like the emotional roller coaster, but it felt so lonely. And then not being able to have somebody to share with, I didn't want to say that I wasn't drinking because there was so much shame around that. And then being able to say, hey, I think I might have a problem. And then looking around and feeling that there's not really anybody I can tell that to. My husband, he's, no, you're not that bad. You were actually just fun. Because if I wasn't drinking, then he couldn't drink. So that was interesting. And then the friends around me were like, oh, I bet you were just fun. But then when I get a chance to tell you, you were like, come on over, sit down, tell me everything. And you're like, well, here's the big book. And I think you might also be codependent. And I'm like, what is that? And like, here, read these books. And I'm like, what is happening? And you also said, what have you moved on to? What do you mean? I'm not drinking. I quit smoking and I signed up at the gym and I worked out so hard and so often that I passed out and I hit my head on the sink as I fell. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. I forgot about that. I'm reminded of just the living the double life, how exhausting that is. And until I got honest about my alcoholism, I was living this double life, which was a full lie, and trying to be all of these things to my mother, to my dad, I was married at the time, and just, but this other side of me was using drugs and alcohol and lying to everyone and just trying to keep up this facade, and just energetically how exhausting that is. And that the freedom truly comes when we can just say it, telling the truth. And the freedom that I felt when I finally went to a treatment facility, and it was just like, I could finally just breathe, because everyone knew. They already knew. I was the last to know, but everyone knew. And so I didn't have to hide anymore. And I didn't have to
Mm,
lie. And I didn't have to try to act as if everything was okay. And just how wonderful that being able to live in that freedom is
mm.
today. And
It,
every day since that. Yeah.
it's
Hmm.
so interesting that you say that, because my addiction was unconventional, and I joke about it, but I Googled, am I an alcoholic, more times than I care to remember. And the answer was always no. So I would have wanted it to say, yes, you are. Here, go to this treatment center and we'll open up the doors for you. But for me, it felt like they were closed.
Yeah.
And that's really why I wrote my book, The Unconventional Addict, because I don't think that I'm the only one. And I have no doubt in my mind that if I didn't stop when I did, I would have had a much worse rock bottom than I did. So I really want to help people stop that boulder from just going out of control. You won't
Yes.
check all the boxes. Maybe you just get to check one and be like, hey, I have a problem. I want to stop this.
Yeah, I love that. I absolutely love that. And by early on, when I first got sober and I was very AA focused, I was taught this is the only way. But as I've stayed sober, having long term sobriety now, I have fully embraced there are so many different ways, different paths, different varieties. And yeah, you don't have to hit rock bottom. You could just be sober curious, or just learning to live. It's not uncommon for people to have habits that they aren't happy with, or things they want to change about how they're showing up in the world. It doesn't matter what you call it, right? It doesn't have to be I'm an alcoholic. It could just be I work out too much.
Oh my goodness. That's it for today. I think your computer ran out of battery. But I love that. That was such a beautiful first podcast. And I'm so grateful you're here. And there's going to be lots more to come. Have an amazing day and keep letting love lead the way.